Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Johnson, an actor and director based in Minneapolis. I've done many shows at Commonweal Theater in the past, and it's great to be back here once again. So first, I just want to give a huge shout out to Rochester Repertory Theater for hiring away the beloved Commonweal Company member, Philip Mewey, who had the wonderful idea of doing a Christmas Carol with a female Scrooge, which allowed me to get this gig.
Social historians are fond of saying that the Victorians invented Christmas, not the religious celebration. That had been around for quite some time. But a lot of the traditions that we associate with Christmas really exploded in the secular sense in the mid-19th century. Just to give one example, when young Queen Victoria married the German Prince Albert, he brought over the tradition of the Christmas tree to England, and it spread so quickly throughout the land that just a few years later, there's a letter by a British matron who wrote to a relative about their holidays saying, "We had a Christmas tree again this year, just as we always have." So many of the things, Christmas cards, Santa Claus, and all the rest of it, were inventions really of the mid-19th century and Victorian England. Now, you may wonder, why was that so? Why did all of that happen? The reason, of course, was economics. With the Industrial Revolution underway, there needed to be a reason for people to buy all of these mass consumer goods. And buying things is what the Victorians did at Christmas. New outfits, Christmas cards, Christmas trees, ornaments, and of course, lots and lots of toys for the kids. And 31-year-old Charles Dickens jumped right into that Christmas fray, writing a short novel at the end of 1843 that proved to be an enormous success. He subtitled it A Ghost Story of Christmas, and that's because in England, telling ghost stories was a favorite pastime of Christmas Eve, not Halloween, but Christmas Eve. And that's something that we wanted to capture in our production. And so I told our design team, if we needed to boil down this production to one word, let's use the word transformation. And this is what I mean by it. Scrooge is, of course, transformed in the original work. His whole reality is transformed by the spirits. Door knockers are transformed. And in our version, actors will change through acting magic into different characters. They'll transform the space. And of course, gender is transformed. But still, we wanted to hold on to the central message that Dickens had, is that our behavior at its best can transform others, and we have the opportunity for society as a whole to be transformed. Now, if one word doesn't work for you, here are a couple others. We wanted the story to be faithful to the original. Stories, characters, period, location, themes, and language would all be the same as you'd see in any Christmas carol. But to that, we wanted to add song. The Victorians were great on both the sacred and secular music of Christmas, and we wanted to add some of those in to populate the story along the way. But mainly, of course, it's gender. Not only Scrooge, but her partner, Marley, and the three spirits, because of course we didn't want three spirits appearing who were male, telling a woman how she should live her life. And that led us to the next big question. All right, what does it mean that Scrooge is a woman? And could a woman be that rich and powerful in that time period? Yeah, she could. But not only Queen Victoria. Nearly 30% of all businesses in the late Victorian era were owned by women, and that doesn't include all the other women who were also working as well, something that we've often overlooked in our histories of that time period. Now, my favorite example of that is Eliza Tinsley, who took over after her husband's death the metalwork factory, and she grew the business to have about 4,000 employees. Now, in Dickens' original, Scrooge is really this kind of comic monster, but we wondered, would a woman at that time period be able to be such a greasy, cantankerous, almost cruel type of figure? How would someone in that time period rise to such wealth and power as a woman? And that got me to thinking about the others in our society, about people who felt that they had to be absolutely perfect, that they could never make a mistake because it would be held against everyone else like them. And so even if they happened to wear the wrong kind of clothing on one day, it could cause a national furor. After that, we started thinking, well, how would a female Scrooge at that time period, how would she exert her power? And how would she be able to protect herself? And we thought, well, maybe she might wear a power suit. Maybe her jewelry would almost seem like brass knuckles. Maybe she would be someone who was so perfect, she knew no one could ever criticize her about what she did. She might also be the kind of person who might wear something that was very elegant, but very simple, severe, unadorned, that would cover her up almost completely, including vulnerable areas like her neck, so that the message she might be sending is, there is no way you can criticize me for what I am doing. You will also never be able to touch me, and I will never reveal anything about myself. So much so that she might almost just fade away into the blue sky. Well, with that, let me leave you with a few of the questions that I put to our wonderful design team. How would a female Scrooge dress in that time period? What would this ghostly, transformative world look like? And how can we make this carol sing in ways that are faithful and fresh? Thank you.